tonight on the Premium Business Masterclass. My name is Khutsafalo, and happy new month to you, the month of spring. A lot of you are excited because you're seeing a lot of people at work today wearing all floral, and I was wearing some, very dull colors, and I thought, why don't I go to a shop and get myself what I'm wearing right now. But I hope you had a fantastic new month on the 1st of September 2022. Do you see what's going on? We're already here already. We're already in those months that ends with Mba. Christians call it the Mba months: December, September, October, November, December. This is where we're at. This is the Premium Masterclass, a show that we build for you as entrepreneurs, as leaders, and those of you who have professional careers that you want to build so that you can be able to be inspired, learn about opportunities, and more things that you can actually get to do in your life. I'm going to be joined tonight by my guest, Mr. Obake Mopi, who's going to be, we're going to have a really fantastic conversation. I want to invite you, wherever you're watching this, if you are watching on YouTube, on Facebook, you're watching at LinkedIn or at Twitter, please be sure to put your comments or questions down below if you have anything that you want to ask or comment on the topics we're going to be talking about. So this is a program brought to you by the Launches Studios in partnership with Islamic Bank Botswana and Hollard Life Botswana. We're right back.
For all and your loved ones back on track when life hits a short left. Better futures start with Hollard.
As I said, we're going to be joined right here on the show by Mr. Obake Mopi. But before we get into the conversations, I want us to introduce a very new feature for the month of September. It's called News Making Headlines Around the World Today. And in this feature, we're going to be taking time to actually explain to you the things that you are seeing happening. And I think this is what happens. Usually when you hear this happened, you just know that that's what happened. But most of you don't really know the implications of what that is going to do. And some of you will be asking yourself questions of, but people always say this happens, that happened, but you have no idea what was that all about. So we're going to take time to slowly explain to you everything that you're seeing happening around the world, and also even in this country. So today I said, you know what, before we go into around the world, why don't you look at what's happening right here in the Republic of Botswana? I think most of you, when you're thinking about news in Botswana, you're like, but there isn't much news. If it's not like politics, some of you know in last week, a few days ago, the BDP Congress met in Tabong. Amazing stuff. I mean, before the Congress, this is what I liked. There was a lot of memos from chiefs, from police to say, all of you who are coming here, please do not leave your babies with us. And I wondered to myself, why do we have to be here as a country, where even before this kind of a meeting, this is what we are cautioned about? You hear what I'm saying? But anyway, the Congress happened. Congratulations to the team that won. For those of you who have been following social media, you saw this was not formally up against the current chairperson of the BDP, who's also the vice president of the country, Res Lamba Tsohane, and his team won. Amazing things, I think, for them. They know what's going on. Because at the back of my mind, I kept wondering to myself, what happens when you are a chairperson of a party, the central committee of a party, and you're also the vice president of the same country, and you lose the elections? Like, what happened during that time? Do you continue as vice president, or the guy who won? I don't know what happens. Maybe Obake later will tell me, because maybe he knows how it happens. But this is some of the stories that always comes up, along so many other politics. But this show is not about a political show anyway. But we're going to focus on more things that government are doing, like this. I saw some of you saw this memo last week, where the government of Botswana was banning the importation of sugar in certain amounts of kgs. I think this is like 500 grams and 1 kg of sugar. And all of these policies that you are seeing, I always tell you guys that this is going to be a very beautiful thing at some certain times. I know a lot of people will be like, these are political people making ways for themselves and all of that. But trust me, but if you look into the bigger picture of what's happening, there's more opportunities, there's more markets that are growing. Because here's what it happens. Do you know what this means? When they say you cannot import sugar in 500 gram and 1 kg, think about what that means. Now, there's more packaging companies that can come into the industry. What you could do right now is get the forms at CEDA, apply to have a brand of your own sugar. I mean, there's already, Blue Crystal, and then there's already sugar. There's room for more, because a lot of you, as you're experiencing all these sugars, you're like, I wish I could have my own brand of sugar. And right now it's easy because you're not going to be competing with anyone. The only thing you'll be buying is the bulk one. That's more than a kg. So the more you buy those, that's when now you can be able to say, hey, for those people that don't want to buy 2.5 kg, 5 kg, and so on, you can be able to supply, those people. I think from where I come from, this is where I grew up. My mom used to send me around in tech shops to go and borrow sugar. And borrow, I mean, she will pay later. And what they would do is, because we couldn't afford even the kg, or the 500 grams. So the lady at the tech shop, what she would do is she would get the 500 gram, and then she would divide into small. You know how they do as pops? Yeah, that's how they will also scale down sugar to that level. And we'll buy those for $5, $10, and so on. There's still so much big market. You can make sachets. You see those sachets that you see on hotels? The ones where there's like 50 gram and all of those. You cannot import that. So what this means is that's an opportunity for you. But let's move on into the last part of the news that's happening right here. It's a beautiful story that, started, I think, some years ago. And Mr. Tsepama Baila, some of you know him, met this young gentleman who, this guy was a star in this country, amazing star. And because of whatever was happening in that particular time, he found his life, falling into drugs and doing all of this like a street boy or so. If you look on social media, you will see his pictures. And what we saw, and this is one thing that brought me to tears, we still do have people in this country who can see, because what happens is sometimes when you see somebody that used to be on the news, who used to be the in thing, and you see them and life has beaten them down, you are like, oh, sham, this guy used to be like this. Look at him, he used to be like this. But there's very few people that say, I will not let this guy's destiny fall into cracks while I watch. So Tsepama Baila made an example that I feel like most of you could actually learn from it. So he took this guy, put him in rehabilitation, and I think this was happening in South Africa. He came back, and look at him. He looks so clean. Some of you, when you see his pictures now, you won't believe how he looked like before the rehabilitation. And now he's going back to school. He's doing all this amazing work. And I think this is something that is worth celebrating. Some people will be like, no, we know what's happening. That's politics. Because people are always going to be like that. Here's the thing. Even if it is, what's wrong with changing somebody's life? Do you know this guy that you're seeing? Do you know what might happen to this guy? This might be the next big thing in the world of athletics, in the world of whatever else that he's passionate about. That's going to be, raise the flag of this country high. So I think sometimes when it's worth celebrating these great works, we should do that. That's a good example. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by my guest, Mr. Obake Mopi, who's going to be having amazing conversations with us. We'll be right back.
For all of life's big and small moments, Temper Holland Insurance Botswana. Our wide range of insurance products
My next guest tonight, joining us on the studio, is Mr. Obake Mopi. Please help me welcome him on the studio, my man. How are you doing?
How you doing, bro? Are you
Thank you very much for coming here. I've been wanting you to come to the show for almost a year now. And I said, you know what, we're going to wait until we get our things right. Then we'll have him on the show. And I'm happy my team is doing amazing work.
They really are, man. I'm inspired, man. Like I was just telling you off air right now, this is some solid work, man. Kudos to you, kudos to the team, and kudos to everyone that watches the stuff, bro.
Yeah. I know you like greeting people your own way, so I'm going to give you the time to, greet our viewers on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, everywhere, yeah.
You know the vibes, man. Which camera do I look at, first of all, man? Do me lang by 20 cola pang, by 20 cola pang. You know the vibes, get over king. I'm not alone. Can I leave GJ? What's going on, my nigga?
Oh, this is the part where I come in.
This is the part where you come in and say, do me lang by 20 cola pang.
I remember the first time you started doing these videos, and a lot of people were like, what is you doing?
Yeah.
And because for some people know you to be the suit guy, who's always serious on social media about this and that. And you started showing us the side of you who's like, I'm really, I'm not trying to be a chilled guy.
Yeah.
This is who I am.
Yeah.
And I want you to take steps back, because You are a business person, you are a speaker, you are a leader, you are a mentor, you are doing all different amazing works. And I want you to, today, just so that we learn from how you think, how you see things, how you deal with certain things.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, a lot of people would say, I think this was time when the time I left Twitter.
Yeah.
Was the time I was on Twitter for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I saw what they were doing to you, man.
Yeah,
It scared me. Like, really, as before they discovered me, I ran away. And you took that and you made something around it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give you the time to really introduce what you do, most of the work that you're involved in.
Okay. Thank you so much. I mean, first of all, my name is Obai King, for those of y'all that don't know who I am, right? Obai King Mopi. I'm just a young guy who believes in a lot of young people. I believe in young people because I was a young person. Still am a young person, but I was a much younger person and I was given a chance. I was given a platform which, honest to God, I felt like I didn't deserve the opportunity, you know what I mean? Someone just believed in me and they gave me that opportunity and I ran with it. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew that it would work with God on my side, right? And so I'm a young person that believes in talent and leadership development because someone once believed in my talent and developed my leadership skills and abilities. And now today I'm realizing that without me positioning myself to become a leader, I became a leader, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like what you said when you opened it, the intro to me is like when I started that TikTok, Dumelang Batswana Kola Pain, I actually wanted to demystify the perception that people had of me. Because now I was no longer a human being to people, bro. The way they carry themselves, the kind of conversations they had, it was like I was an opportunity to people and not really a human being to people. It was like people viewed me as someone who can open a door for them.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the honor, I appreciate the grace, but I felt like I want to relate with people.
Yeah.
I don't want to have people look at me and think I need to carry myself a certain kind of way to be around this man, you know what I mean? So TikTok just gave me that platform, you know what I mean?
To be a human being.
To be a human being, bro.
And let's talk about it because here's the thing. There's what people always see and think you are.
Yeah.
And there's what you know yourself to be.
Yeah.
And then there's one of two ways people can relate with this because one of that ways you'll be like, most people when they hear people saying, hey, you are this, and then they look at themselves, they don't see what people are talking about.
Yeah.
And then what they do is they hide from the world or they start sabotaging themselves, they start talking themselves down, even in front of the people. What you sing of me, and I realize that this is the person I could be.
Yeah.
And then they take the step towards being that person.
Yeah.
What would you advise people who look at themselves and they don't see, what people are talking about them?
I think the most important thing, man, you and I have the same spiritual father, right? And I'm going to reference him a lot because that man literally shaped and modeled my life as it is right now.
Yeah.
And the one thing that he said to me that was incredibly instrumental and it keeps me going was always person, or don't look at who Mike thinks for you to be and try to emulate that person. Just be authentic of my personality up to 35%. But what about the other 65 that you haven't filled in? So that means that I don't know how to carry myself with that extra 65%. I'm not doing me for them. I'm not doing me for the people that are listening and watching us right now. People will love you because...
Sort of like people would be like, because what you're saying, it's even when you're putting yourself...
Yeah.
But a lot of people find this to be very difficult. Most people fall into this trap of saying, I would rather, for the sake of the following, I will be this person that I know deep down this is not me.
Yeah.
Do you think this is the right path to go in?
Well, definitely not, because you can't pretend forever. You know what I mean? You can pretend for so long, but pretending gets tiring because now you're trying to assume a role that you were never in the first place. You know what I mean? There's so many, you didn't have a rehearsal before this about what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
You see? But I'm just being me. I'm just being me. Imagine if I came on your show and I was like, yo man, GJ, I gotta go and wear a suit and and be who people think that I am. Then I wouldn't even be having the Dumelang Batswana Kola Pain. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even be having this kind of conversation with you. So once you're authentically yourself, my nigga, you will be able to move in the fabric, the divine fabric of your life, the divine fabric that God has called out for your life. And if you try to be GJ, if I try to be you, look, you're inspiring, bro. You're doing great work. The work you do and the work I do is almost parallel to one another. But now imagine if I steal from my own brilliance because I see how bright your light is shining. And you're not even pretending to be anyone. So that's the thing, like if I go on social media and trying to be this person, and then I go home and I'm trying to be this person, and then I go to church and then I'm trying to be that person, it's a lot of admin, bruh. What if I forget who I'm supposed to be in a certain environment? People will always tell if someone is being fake, man. I think genuinely, I have a heart for people. I love people. And I think the only reason that I am who I am by the grace of God is because I kept my heart pure. Like I said, my spiritual father said it, keep your heart pure. Once your heart is pure, everyone in this room will know you're being real. Yeah. But when I'm being fake, they don't even have to tell me, bro. All of them will know, nah, that nigga, I don't know what it is. It's just something about him. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
The time we were on the radio and you were telling your story about when you began your entrepreneurship journey, you quit your job.
Yeah.
And then you went in. I want you to rephrase this story for those that don't even know about it, like where you began. Because people just like see you and they're like, you see that people that you see for the first time, you just like them. But you don't care to really check where they're coming from. But I think it'll make, because the way, that time when I was listening to it, I was like, wait, what? Really? Yeah. And then I was like, I started knowing you a different way since then, because now I know your story, where you come from.
Solid.
So I want you to give you the opportunity to really tell us about, how did this journey begin?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Because you had an amazing job, but I have to put that. I would have never quit that. Never.
Thank you. So man, you have no idea. My own family sat me down through a series of meetings to ask me, what in the world are you doing?
I would have done that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Who quits a mining job that pays you really well? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like I said, now imagine if I was an expectation for my life. So I don't really remember I remember we had the conversation. I don't remember the specificity of the conversation.
No, you speak about it from your heart.
From my heart,
Tell
right?
the story as it is.
Yeah, and it feeds in. Imagine if I was pretending then I wouldn't know what to say now. You see what I mean? So it's always important to stay genuine. But I was an accountant, go Lukara. I can name drop. That company made me who I am, bruh. You know what I mean? I was an accountant for Lukara, Botswana for the first 7 years of my life, my corporate life. Straight out of UB, I went to Lukara.
Yeah.
It was a great environment, man. I don't want to lie to you. The environment was great. The networking opportunities were great. The responsibility that I was given was out of this world. And the subsequent opportunities that came out, but it wasn't fulfilling me. I mean, bruh, you can have money and not be fulfilled. You know what I mean?
A lot of people can relate to that.
A lot of... I know.
Because people like, you say that because you have the money,
you know what I mean? Yeah, so I remember a friend of mine, a guy called Goms, who used to say to me, like, bruh, you make money, but you don't have time to spend it. And I'm like, I know what you mean. So this was, it came to 2018 when I quit my job. It was 2018, don't get me wrong. But I also felt like I need to do best with what God has given me to try and privilege the next person, right? So here I was, man, 2018. It took me 2 years to even leave Lukara because they didn't want to let me go either. I'm not saying, I guess I had good rapport with my team and everyone that I worked with, because when I let them know, like, guys, I think my journey here is through and through, they try their utmost best to keep me on board. They thought it was a money issue. They thought it was an environment issue. But I try to make them understand, like, at the end of the day, it's just about what's going on in my heart. Like, I feel like I need to do a lot more for people, more than just being closed out in an office for 14 hours, 15 hours a day, bruh. So 2018 came, from 2016 I was trying to quit my job. 2018 came, they eventually understood that I wasn't coming from a point of malice, so I wasn't upset about anything. I just needed to enter into a new shift of my life. And that's when, I went in. And bruh, I went in, I quit my job end of 2018. And if you remember, that was just when COVID-19 started, bruh. I had to move back home, you know what I mean? And I love to share this story with people. I have mentorship sessions that I have Tuesday evenings in your glory, but they don't understand your true story, so they think that when they're going down, then something is wrong with them, you know what I mean? But I had to move back home, guys. Like, you know, all in my when people were expecting me in these streets, bro, I was living at my mama's house, you know what I mean? But I was willing to make that decision because I understood that it was a whole paradigm shift. If I was going to quit my job to go into being an entrepreneur, then I needed to understand that I needed to make a sacrifice, you know. But I believed in what I was going in to do. Yeah. And COVID-19 came. Business was good because of the networks that I was able to see. And you remember, bro, everything.
Yeah. Biology and chemistry and economics.
And economics, you know what I mean?
Because I want to bring you back to here, because the decision to say I'm quitting on my job is not an easy one. You know, it's easy to inspire them and say, hey, I have this idea for my business, and then things go south. Yeah. And you were saying this earlier that immediately you left your job. Few months down the line, exactly what people were fearing, that don't quit your job, happened to you. Yeah. What was going on in your mind when you finally realized I'm here? Like, you see, there's that moment where like I can't lie to anyone. This is where I am. I'm here. What was going on?
Yeah. Well, like you need to have unresolving faith, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? Thank God to my spiritual father, man. Shout outs BF Rams, bro. If he's watching this, man. He always kept my head screwed on straight and screwed on tight. And so when I quit my job, it was not a haphazard decision. I didn't quit, said my spiritual father down and let him know, like, no, I have it calculated this way. I had a general idea, but it didn't play out that way. I'll say that to you, okay? Yeah. But all I had was faith. All I knew was the reason why I quit my job was for a better future, and that future will play out. Just because it's playing out in a way that I did not anticipate does not mean that it's not gonna play out in the way that it's meant to play out, right? I could have never seen myself here right now. I could have never seen it back then when I quit my job. It was not an easy path. But what I say to people is, whenever you go into a decision, life has a way of shifting everything and throwing you in the deep end. I could have had when I quit my job, I had so many people promising me business, okay? Of course. Yeah, bruh. Then COVID-19 happened. I couldn't blame them, you know what I mean? But because I had a plan. It's important to have a plan that was backed by faith. Now, this plan backed by faith, I'll call it a desire, okay? I had it written down, sure, but in order for there to be a plan, it needs to be preceded by desire. And desire, bro, I mean like pulsating, and whatever you couple with faith will always pay back. It doesn't matter how long it takes. And then remember, I said to myself, I'm going to be successful. So this plan was a plan towards success, towards riches, bro, real riches, you know what I mean? I'm not satisfied with what people looked at. By the grace of God, he had privileged me with. I was not satisfied with that, because inside of my heart, I felt like, man, there's so much inside of me that I feel like I can achieve, by God's grace. So I had that pulsating desire, then I had faith, and then I had to study what success literally is. I had to read. I recommend, if there's any entrepreneurs watching this, you're an entrepreneur. If you've ever read, if there's a book you should read, man, it's Elon Musk's autobiography, bro. Dog as well. I read what he was going through, and somehow I found solace in their stories, because then I was able to put myself into perspective. If you want to be great, bro, to him who much is given, much, much more is required. If you want to be great, bro, you have to go down. I'm in real estate right now, okay? And when we start a project, the first thing we do is we dig in the ground. We go down first before we go back up. You know what I mean? So even in life, man, life has the same principles everywhere. In the spiritual world, in the physical world, you got to dig the foundation. You got to go down first. After you've gone down enough, then you can go up. And listen, if I'm building a 2-story house, I'll go down maybe 1 story or a third of a story. But if I'm building a skyscraper, you are gonna have to go all the way down. You know what I mean? Of course. And sometimes if you don't understand that beforehand, or you don't have guys like you, I mean, this show is brilliant, man. Masterclass, you're teaching young people, or even our older people, in order for you to arrive somewhere, you first need
more things, because here's the thing, this shows how they have achieved what they've achieved, and he does so much more. And I still have more questions for that I wanted to ask him, but I think when you come back, I'm going to get into that.
Your dream becomes real the moment you believe it can be. Hoka Kgonega with Stanbic Bank Botswana. Your dreams matter. Let's find new ways to make dreams possible. Whether you are dreaming about starting a new business, securing a good future for your family, buying a new home, or owning a new car, your dream becomes real the moment you believe it can be. Hoka Kgonega with Stanbic Bank Botswana. Your dreams matter.
Welcome back to the show, and let's continue the conversation with Mr. Obake Mopi. Mopi. Which one is this? Mopi.
It's Mopi.
And what does that mean?
So my great-grandfather, well, actually my father's father, my grandfather.
Your grandfather.
Yeah, he was a man from Serowe with a lot of cattle, right? And you know, because he had a lot of cattle, so Mopi.
I was trying to talk you into believing that it's actually Mopi, because that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mopi.
And your voice makes it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this, fun relaxed stuff.
Yeah.
You have a picture with the First Lady of this republic.
Yeah.
You have a picture with the President of this republic.
Yeah. By his grace, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's by his grace.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the part where the grace was helping you. How the hell did you get into the circle of the president?
Man.
Because I tried. I mean, everybody has tried. Trust me, I have tried.
Yeah.
And I know God was helping me.
Yeah.
But I didn't get in. But you did.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Bro, even to this day, I still can't explain that relationship to you, how it happened. I think that's the first thing that opened the door for us, you know what I mean? Even when we were putting in a letter of request for their presence, bro, just for them to hear us out, we were asking ourselves, who in the world do we think we are to even send a letter to the first lady we've had in over 10 to 12 years, you know what I mean? Do you think she's got time for you?
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, bro, when you have
I'm thinking about, she had so much backlog.
Imagine.
Damn.
Yeah, imagine. So we were like, man, she's super busy, bro. Yeah. She's got so much to do, and we are just new with BCR. You know, who the hell do you think you are to send her a letter? But you know, whatever you couple with faith, my nigga GJ, will always give back to you. And faith, I'm not only limiting it to religious faith, bro. I just believe in whatever it is that you want to do. And by believing in it, I mean cognitive congruence, bro. It's one thing to speak like you believe it, but it's one thing inside of your heart and inside of your mind to actually believe it. So we just sent out the request, and we genuinely believed that she will give us audience because we believed in the work that we were doing. And man, lo and behold, one day when I was coming from a BTV interview because of Botswana Careers Roundtable, told, look, you've been asked to have breakfast with the First Lady. I say, what?
I will faint.
Man, nigga, I was like, nigga, I just got to work and
So you went to sit down with her and
you
were sitting here and she's here and you're having breakfast.
And we were having breakfast, man. We arrived.
And then protocols like, what do you do? Because I don't know if the president wants to call me, like, come. Like, I don't know, like, do I wear a suit or
Thank God I was already wearing a suit because I was in the office, right? It was when I was still an employee at Lucaro.
Because I know I want to be president one day, but I need to know.
Yeah.
Is the State House like a home, like the way it would be if they were staying somewhere, or is there like some kind of, like it's like an office and then there's like a channel where this is where you sleep.
Yeah.
And then this is where, like, what's the environment inside there?
it's compartmentalized. You know what I mean? There's offices, there's staff quarters, and then there's the residence as well. So the first meeting we had, we went to the residence, and we were privileged enough to first wait for her in the lobby, bruh. The lobby was right next to their lounge. So you're sitting here, and then there's the lounge where, I guess that's where they sit down.
Like, that's where they chill.
That's where they chill as normal human beings. Yeah. And we were waiting for her to come in and then welcome us into this room, which is basically where they have dinner. I mean, that's the dining room. That's where the dining room was. And I remember it was me and two of my other business partners, bro. And the moment she walked in, like, it was like we rehearsed it, man. We were all propped up. It was like we all stood up. We didn't know what to do. Yeah, you know what I mean? That, yeah. So she came in and she greeted us, and then she said, "Follow me." And then she opened the door. Well, her staff opened the door, and then we walked into that room, and she just, of course, she had to do protocol. She let me know, look, this is the president's chair. You cannot sit here. Yeah. This is my chair, so you cannot sit here.
Do you know what that, like, I know you're saying it like it doesn't mean anything. Like,
house.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, is this my life? You know what I mean? Yeah. How am I sitting here? How am I sitting at the flipping state house? You know what I mean? To this day, even if as I'm saying this to you, I can't believe it, bro. And like, all I'm saying is, you know, a door was open for us. We came with burning desire, we came with faith, and we kept our hearts pure, remember. And energy resonates, my bro, GJ. So if we were fake, she would have been able to pick it up easy. Her team would have been able to pick it up easy.
Her, because she's very good at it.
She's very good at it, you know what I mean? So she gave us benefit of the doubt. I'll let you know, we couldn't show for Botswana Careers Roundtable, and then the breakfast was impromptu. I just got a call and was told, come through right now to help yourselves. Anxiety, I just couldn't bring myself to it, you know. And then we went right into it. She asked us to tell her about the event. We told her about it. She believed in it. And at the end of the event, man, she's like, you know, I'm impressed by you young people. I'm gonna tell my husband about you. I'm like, I'm gonna get who your husband is. What? Like, do you know who your husband is? Like, please tell your husband, you know. And
do you think it's easier to get to First Lady than it is to get to the president, or is it vice versa?
Hey man, neither one of them is easy to get through to. I don't want to lie.
I mean, who will give you the benefit of the doubt? Like, I think First Lady would.
You think the First Lady because she's our mother, right?
I think she's. I've only seen her, literally seen her. Okay. Like, I'm asking, who's that? It's like the First Lady.
Hey.
Oh, actually, she once told me about you, and it's just scrolling down on the WhatsApp.
Solid.
Like, she still wants to see me at some point. But at my mind, I was like, nah.
Yeah. Nah. They're both incredibly great people. I mean, like, you know, man, they held me down on a personal level so many times. They held me down on a professional level so many times. To this day, bro, they still hold me down, you know what I mean? So it's difficult for me to say this one is more approachable than this one, or this one is more approachable than this one. Both of them are incredibly amazing people, man.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, I think for me it's because I was raised by my mom.
Yeah.
And I don't really relate well with these guys who are fathers in houses, because I don't know, like, how you go to these guys. And I would go to the okay, go and tell that guy. Anyway, and I've seen I was at a lodge, and then she also came to the event where we were at in Game City, the one that you did that time. And which was raining and stuff. It was really, I was there the whole time, and I'm looking at the kind of people, the quality. He's doing all of this stuff. Like, and for me, because I like learning from people that do things out of faith. And this is my next question, because for me, my journey has been seeing how real and how possible certain things can be.
Yeah.
You know, you can say, I want to host a First Lady, and it's just from a point of fantasy. And then there is knowledge now when you've seen that this is something that happens, and you were there, you saw it happening. And when I this is why I'm privileged to be at our church, because I see you, I see Gaho, I see Makwana, you know, I see all sorts of amazing people. And every time I see them, I'm like, I'm seeing people who have proofs of the things I pray about. 100%. And I'm so relaxed because I know this is going to happen at some point. Because this guy has done it. It's like much closer to me. I mean, look at, yesterday I was telling someone that our mentor BF Rams.
Yeah.
He talks on WhatsApp with TD Jakes. Like
Imagine.
TD Jakes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
TD Jakes talks on WhatsApp with Will Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, if I want to meet Will Smith, I tell BF, can you talk to TD Jakes and tell him I want to see Will Smith?
Just like that.
That thing can happen just like
easy.
that. And my life will never be the same.
Yeah.
And I love being here. Let's talk about faith as we conclude the conversation here.
Yeah.
You keep saying this, it's by the grace of God, it's by faith, it's by this. How important is having a relationship with God as an entrepreneur, as a career person, just as a person generally who wants to see themselves somewhere in life?
Yeah, as a human being.
As a human being.
You know what I mean? Look, man, I have my iPhone right here, right? Great piece of work, right?
Looks like it.
You know what I mean? We could all relate.
Yeah, the iPhones, and then the iPhones.
Wow, man, you know what I mean? Yeah. But a great piece of work. I mean, it keeps me productive all throughout my day. Takes great photos. I'm able to connect, right? Everything, right? It's a great phone. We can say that, right? But if it runs out of battery and there's no electricity to charge it, it's just a heavy piece of machinery in my pocket, and it's gotten absolutely no use. So we can look at it and be like, it looks great, you know what I mean? But the screen is dark. And when the screen is dark, it means I can't do anything with it. So a human being is just that, bro. The body, it will never ever reach its full potential. So I always say that, like, you're a human being. As a human being, you need to first and foremost understand that you are a spiritual being.
Yeah.
The body, what we see as the body, is only a small representation of who you are as a human being. And so everything, your electricity that I plug this iPhone to give it functionality, full functionality, is what God is to a human being in their life.
Yeah.
So I can look good, you know what I mean? But I will never ever reach my full potential unless I have God in my life. And again, I'm not religiousizing this, bro. I'm just saying that if you God, then we are lying to ourselves, God designed everything, bro. Like, everything is God. We are made in His image. How do you think that I'm able to construct a sentence out of scratch? And so when I'm constructing a sentence, I'm thinking and I'm putting the words together. And I'm putting words together that I learned back in Standard 1 when I was taught English. And I'm still able to recollect from that memory without pausing from having this conversation. It's processing power. Do you think that is happening haphazardly, bro? You know what I mean? It can't happen outside of God. And so that's why I'm always saying, like, I of the spiritual world, which is where God wrote to 1,200 students. And I was telling them about the electromagnetic spectrum.
I was there the whole time. I don't know. With the students behind me, I don't know what this guy is saying. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. If you guys, you got Google, you got internet, go search the electromagnetic spectrum. It's basically the entire existence of everything. Visible light, 3% of all reality. So me and you are invisible, my nigga, to 99.9% of the world. And that's where God lives. That's why God is everywhere at the same time. He's omniscient, He's omnipresent, and He's all-knowing, bro. How do you think all of that is happening? So when you say no to God, okay, or your spirituality, you are literally saying no to an entire world that is making everything happen. My voice is coming out right now. You can't hear it, but you can see it. There's no wires that are connecting me to the microphone right now, but somehow people are able to hear me. There's no wires connecting me and you or the set here to someone who's watching this at home, but somehow it's moving. Technology and internet and everything else. Because then what are you saying, bro? Nothing
I like the illustration you made that time about the internet router. How do you know you have internet?
And
the students were like, but I've seen it. Like, where?
Where have you seen it?
No, I saw the router. Like, you saw the router. Did you see the internet? And that was really powerful. I was actually thinking about that particular moment, like how many intangible things that we do have. And we are looking for tangible proofs. For example, to believe that I'm a blessed person. Some people, they would be like, then where is the stuff? And I'm which stuff? Like, the stuff that shows that you are blessed. Like, that's the thing. I don't need to have this stuff for you to believe that I am who I am. I don't. This is where Bajana don't understand ATI. And that the time when I was doing an interview with McG, that time I felt as crazy as people think he is, because I was understanding him. Like the whole time I was like, this guy has gotten to a level of understanding that most human beings will never ever in that, because this is where it comes from. It comes from this guy. There was this guy I wrote about in my book. So this guy was seated by the lake and he was catching a fish. So he caught one and then he put it here and then he was frying it and he was eating it. So another guy came down and he's like, yo, is there fish here? It's like, sure. It's like, how many do you think is here? It's like, I don't know, maybe 100,000 or a million, I don't know. And this guy's like, what? Why don't you catch all of this fish? And then this guy is like, for what? It's like, then you go and sell them. And then the guy's like, and then what? And then he says, and then you make a lot of money. And then he says, and then I do what with the money? And then you buy the house. And then what? Live there. And then what? Then you'll be happy. And then the guy says, look, seated right here, right in front of this pond, eating one fish, I'm happy. I don't have to go all that way to come back here to sing, like you were saying earlier. You know, money doesn't mean. I know a lot of people can't really relate to that. They don't know. They want to find it out for themselves. They want to have the money first, so that they can tell you, I know you are telling the truth. it won't fulfill you. But this is when I say I want a certain house. It's not from the desperation of thinking I need that to fulfill a part of me. It's because I need it as a tool for something that I need to do with my life and purpose. You see, so this is where God was trying to help you to really understand, because at some point I didn't think I could be able to achieve all of it. But anyway, thanks, man, for coming here on the show. Brilliant conversations and stuff. Do you have any... I have a difficult question.
As a young person, the one thing I can always say is believe in yourself and do it for you. You know what I mean? Like, life is an entire journey. You'll get tired trying to live someone else's life, you know? If you're not going to believe in yourself, any person that's watching or listening or in this room with us right now, I just was crazy enough to believe in myself, bro. You know what I mean? So there's no telling. There's a whole thing that I've ever done. I don't know.
I know there's one that you will say in front of people. But like the dumbest thing.
The dumbest thing that I've ever done. Man, I don't think, you know what I mean? How did I become wise as people think I'm wise? Because I did a lot of dumb things. You know what I mean?
You know you do wise things because you know the dumb things you shouldn't do.
Because you know the dumb things you shouldn't do. You know what I mean? So dumb is also a very relative word and a very relative term. So I don't sit down in my head and try and think of what's the dumb thing that I did. I don't know, bro. I can't come up with an answer to that. That really is a difficult question for me.
But there was one at some point.
they probably.
And I like, because I wish you had time to talk about it, like how you move forward in life despite what's happening at a particular time. Because like I was saying earlier, maybe let me just steal my producer's 5 minutes. Okay. So there was a time I just joined Twitter, and I'm trying to learn everything what's going on. Like how do you talk to people? I see these people here, but how? Because I'll put out a tweet and no one responds. It's like, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Because other people, I ask people, so guys, tell me, how do you do Twitter? They're like, no, just keep tweeting. So I was doing that. And then the other time I get onto Twitter. And then I see, in fact, I saw your picture first. It's like, oh, I know this guy. This is before I got to church. I know this guy. So I didn't read what was going on. So then I started seeing you, like every tweet, like what's going on with this guy. So I read, and I was seeing these people tearing you apart, and they were talking about things that happened in your past. You know, a lot of people thought you would not, because I heard them say that, a lot of people thought you would not survive beyond that storm. How would you share with someone all new?
There's another thing
on Twitter for that matter. So what would you share from that experience of how you keep moving despite what's going on?
Well, the important thing I'll say to you is people will always talk about something of substance, you know what I mean? If they're not talking about you, then you're definitely doing something wrong, you know? And so, and like I said, man, I had a lot of people in my corner at that time that were letting me know, like, yo, listen, the only reason that people are out here talking about you is because they see you moving forward. And whenever people see you moving forward, they will try their utmost best to look for anything to try and bring you down to their level, okay? Now you could, at that point, you could either choose to do one of two things. You could either slow down and listen to them and then go back down to where they want you to go, or you can rise above it. And that's it, it's that simple. If you're driving, when you drive out of here, Gigi, I mean, it's late at night right now, but let's say you drive out of here during lunchtime and you pass, there's a junior school, right? You don't, right? Because you're at a different level. So what you do is you just observe and then you keep on moving. So that's just it with life, man. You just keep observing and then you keep on moving.
Because here's the thing, like I hear you, but at my mind was like, did you read what those people, because that's why some people, like for example, you can just put a nice picture. It happens, on social media, on Facebook, especially these days. Yeah. People don't know you. Yeah. They just see a picture of you or the whatever it is that you are talking about, and somebody just have the audacity to just say things about you that even you reading them, you're like, who are they talking about? And you read all of that. And it's one thing to like look at it and then ignore it. But then there are some of them that really gets here. Yeah. Like, what do you do with those ones?
I don't know, bro. I didn't read them. I didn't have time to read them. My whole time I was on my phone managing people that were worried about me. I was letting them know, yo, listen, calm down, bro. Because I knew there's no substance to what they're saying, you know what I mean? So like, yo, calm down.
And that was your first time on Twitter. That was your first. Yes, this is what got me. Your first tweet got you all of these things.
I literally just walked on Twitter and was like, yo, just look, man, let me try and do this for the young people. Because I thought it was a platform where there was a lot of young people.
I think I should have allowed you maybe like me, like a few weeks. Like your first tweet.
Definitely, because I got a lot more that I need to achieve, and I'm not going to stop because of a certain kind of a little bit of negativity. It was a little bit of negativity, but trust me, bro, that was, man, I became famous because of that. I mean, sure, I probably was famous before that, but I became famous because of that. Because, people love negative news more than they love positive news. That's why when you turn on your TV and watch the news, it's always negative.
Don't you think some people can't grow mentally enough to forgive how they saw you then? Because some people, they see that picture and then they lock that picture in their mind. So even when they see you in today's show, they're like, we know him. Yeah. Don't you think that's part of the things that makes people really hurt? It needs more, like yours, it needs God or something just to say, hey man. Yeah. Like what you do with people who still can't forgive what they heard from people that they think they haven't given you the chance to really see and know who you are, but they still think they know you because of what they saw on social media. And that thing is what's keeping them apart from you and not even relating with you.
Yeah. What was your question?
The question is then how do you deal with those people that no matter what you do, they just can't forgive you?
Well,
or they can't forgive their picture of you. Yeah. Because you and that picture are two different people.
Yeah. So they have their own picture, and regardless of what I try to do in my own individual capacity or with my own individual efforts, I will never be able to change their perception. It's all on them, you understand? Yeah. Like you have to decide by your own volition that I want to view things differently. Otherwise, you're retrogressing. And it's up to the person. You can choose to believe or choose not to believe, you know what I mean? But one thing I'll tell you for certain, God is not going to change the shift, the path that he has set out for me. Things aren't going to stop in my life because you don't like me, bro. You know what I mean?
I think that's what they think is going to happen. Like, we hate him, then it's going to go down. Like, and then it doesn't happen. I like God for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I always say to people, it's like, imagine if hate was a hot liquid, okay? And you put this hot liquid in a bottle, and you are holding on to the hate. You are the one who's getting burnt, bro. I can see, but it's not affecting me. I'm keeping it moving. You are the one holding on to that hate in that hot water bottle, and it's burning your hands, bro. Because you have to keep holding it, and you keep switching hands, and now you get used to living in an environment of hate. And guess what? If you have inside, you see what I mean? I can't hate you if I first don't hate myself. I have to love myself in order to love you. Otherwise, then I don't know what love is, you know what I mean? So if I hate you, trust I hate myself, bruh. So it's not even my responsibility to come to you and say, please don't hate me. And once you have, man, it's difficult. to love and hate at the same
You
time.
can't.
You can't.
You just
know what I
can't.
mean?
And people like to themselves. They think they can do that.
They think they can do that, but they can't.
You can smile in pretense, love people, but you know deep down what happens in your heart when you see those people.
It's like chewing gum, bro. I can't chew gum and then shout at you. Imagine, like, I hate you, man. Like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's up to each individual to decide within themselves what they want to do in the world and the kind of reality that they want to see. But if you hold on to hate because of limited information about it. Yeah.
Thank you, Obi, for coming to the show, man.
Thanks so much for having me,
Amazing
brother.
work you're doing.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, and we're going to take a quick break. When you come back, we're going to be saying our goodbyes, but let me allow him to say goodbye.
Yeah. All right, much for those that even watched it after the fact. Thank you so much for making time, dedicating time to listen to it. I appreciate it for real. GJ, thank you so much for having me. The team that's making sure that this is a success. Thank y'all so much. Remember, keep believing in yourself. The sky's the limit.
100%. We'll be right back.
Meaningful sponsorships improve lives. That's why we create and support initiatives that make a real difference by engaging, inspiring, and uplifting communities. It's just one of the ways Hollard ensures better futures.
New ways to make dreams possible. Whether you are dreaming about starting a new business, securing a good future for your family, buying a new home, or owning a new car, your dream becomes real the moment you believe it can be. Khutsafalo with Stanbic Bank Botswana. Your dreams matter.
I've been a part of this, session all the way from Facebook, those who are watching on LinkedIn, those who are watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all of these platforms. And here's the thing, there's a lot of take-home from this, and I think I love the beautiful take-homes that I got for myself. You do once and for all, and you don't believe in gonna believe in yourself. Because how you sleep today may not, you may not really be feeling the day you didn't decide. Consciously decide to believe on yourself. Let's take quick updates and then we are here. 5th of September. 2022, and it's going to be an amazing media launch happening at Crest the President. I'm not inviting you. It's only for the people that have already received the invites. We are welcome to watch online and be a part of it. If you still want to register for Project 124, if you have a business idea, you have an existing, /Project 124. There are so many different buttons. Be careful of the one you press. Press the one that's relevant to you. If you are if you have no idea of what you want to do, or you just have an idea of the business you want to run, but you don't have any business experience, we do have that program for you. It's called the Project 124 Freshers Program. Register for that program. There's going to be an amazing 2 weeks within Project 124. It's called the Project 124 Immersion Week. We have mentors from all around the world. We're talking Singapore, people from Romania, we've got people from here, even in Botswana, even right here on the continent that have been in business for so many years. And they're going to be joining us virtually from wherever they are. And you're going to be learning with all the Project 124 people. I want to learn from like the actual classes, but I don't want to attend the whole Project 124. Yeah, sign up for those Immersion Week and be a part of that. It's going to change your life. I am sure of that. And for those of you who still need a copy of my book, it's available. Think like an entrepreneur, act like a prostitute. You can go buy yourself a copy of this. That didn't believe in the ability to enterprise, that had no idea as you, but behind anywhere else. You can read about whatever it is that you're reading about. But from this book, one thing I've noticed is that God has been helping everyone who's a part of our movement in the black and yellow to achieve whatever they want to achieve. And that has been my prayer when I was releasing this book, to say, Father, let everyone who's going to read my book, I know it can works for them. And I love it when I see those testimonies. I'm so excited. And every one of you who've been a part of it, ordering books all around the country, thank you. The names, Mike Esele, Tsepo Balozi, Kolobeto Seleme, or Silimina, Mokes, is it? Doesn't really matter. And so Homozo Mourinho, these are the young people that are making this show available to you every single Thursday. And also appreciate the Stanbic Bank of Botswana who have been a part of this journey and will continue, son.